Hi Aries, I hope that you're all doing well. We are here with your reading, What You Need to Know for October. Welcome. We have the King of Swords and we also have Four of Wands. What this feels like to me, when I see King of Swords and Four of Wands, this feels like if there was something that needed to be figured out, whether it be like problem solving that needed to be happening, you needing to assess something and see something, or you needing to say something, communicate something, in order for there to be peace, in order for there to be harmony, it feels very much like you are successfully doing that. And so you can feel like there is a fluidity that you're communicating with, thinking with, and communicating with, Aries. And that can also just be a theme in general that you're going to be experiencing during the month of October. I do definitely get an ease when it comes to when there are things that pop up that feel like barriers or issues or blocks or just stuff to work with. It feels like there is a real ability here and a real ease here for you to figure out those things and for you to get things where they need to be. Like there's just this, I see things as working well like this, and then knowing sort of what needs to be done to get to that place, but especially through communication, and that being a really important piece of this, through what you say, through what you're thinking, through what you're communicating, because we do have King of Swords here. And so this is going to be a lot about what's going on up here and then how you see things unfold because of that. So there can also be a need that you feel to initiate these things as well. This is more so like if you're seeing a problem or whatever, that you're sort of stepping in and doing something about it, and that you'll see that it goes very well. So if you need to call something out, if you need to appraise something, this feels like what you do ends up working successfully because we have the Four of Wands here. So this feels like whatever it is, there's going to be a sense of accomplishment that you feel of, even I got things back on track if something needed to be put back on track, whether this be in your personal life or it has to do with something like it can be a work situation even where you see something going on like that shouldn't be working, or that things shouldn't be happening like that. I don't know why, but I'm even feeling like a specific situation. This isn't going to be for everybody, but for some of you, you can even see something within the workplace and feel like you need to call it out or do something about it to reestablish harmony in some way. It doesn't only have to be the workplace. It can be within a relationship, it can be within your personal life, it can be somewhere else. You can be called in to assess something and to figure it out, to make sure that things work the way that they need to, in a way that it helps with the functioning. This kind of reminds me of IO psychology, where there is this, if things aren't working right within the workplace, there can be a stepping in and sort of helping a company facilitate that. But it can be the way that you're doing that within your own life even, where you're sort of assessing things like, why isn't that working, or what needs to change over here, and then doing those things like problem solving. Just you're able to find solutions is what I'm seeing during the month of October. This is also something that's going to be forecasted throughout the whole month, so you can write down these key points and find that this is exactly what ends up unfolding for you throughout the month. Depending on where you have Aries in your chart, that will give you more insight as to how this is going to be experienced for you. I'm also seeing the Eight of Cups come out, and what that means is that during the month of October, you can get to a point where if you get a feeling that something has sort of run its course, that can be something that's being looked into, and there can even be a seeking during the month of October for something that you feel like will nourish you, especially on an internal level. You can feel drawn to seek something that's going to feel fulfilling, or that there's a sense of connectivity within it. And there can be change that's connected with that. For some of you, there can even be leaving a situation that ends up happening. Feels like some type of time arriving. But it would be from a place of necessity. It wouldn't be for no reason. And that being important. Yeah, I'm seeing a whole lot of forward movement. The Eight of Cups, Knight of Cups, and Six of Swords are all moving in the same direction. This can be a moving forward. There can also be something that you want to express, but what this can mean as well is that if you feel like you're working on behalf of your heart here, this can be a move that you make that's based off of your internal experience, based off of what you're feeling. Like if there's something that you're seeking, you can go and actively do that. There's something that I'm looking for. This is me making the move to try to do that. And this can be you moving forward and sort of mentally being on that same page. Mentally and emotionally, I'm seeing something come together for you, where you can feel like I'm not just feeling something, but I'm also responding to how I'm feeling. And there's an alignment with my head and my heart. Some of you, a relationship can be involved in this, but it can also just be about what you care about and what you're feeling too. You can be more open to different opportunities and options as well during the month of October. It does feel like there's going to be a discussion, maybe about everything that you've been feeling. There can sort of be a surfacing of stuff for you, and then communication about it. It feels like it has to do with something specific within your life. Like less general and more specific with something. Because this has to do with a current investment of yours. And how you're ready for growth, how you're ready for expansion. Some of you, there's a relationship that there's going to be some type of shift that ends up happening. A move will be made on behalf of how you're feeling. You will feel mentally like you are on the same page. So this will not feel like my head and my heart are saying two different things. This is like with a sense of there being a concise congruence here with the way that you move. It's like something clicks into place, like there's an understanding. This also means too that there can be recognition of cyclical patterns, that just your understanding of things fall into place. There's an understanding of basically cycles, stuff that's been unfolding, and it will be a moment where you see the changing of things, where you can see the oscillation, and you can even see the cyclical nature of what's been occurring and recognizing those patterns. What this means too is that It feels like, and I'm seeing you come into the month feeling like this, so I imagine it was happening before the beginning of October, meaning if you're watching this in September, this can be something that you've been wrestling with already. There's been something that's going on that's felt kind of emotionally confusing, or they're just being trying to make sense of something but feeling like there hasn't been total and absolute clarity. What I'm seeing is that things are going to make sense, because what's happening by the end of the month, by the end of October at least, if not before, there's going to be a moving forward where it feels almost like there had been this fog that you'd been moving within, and it hadn't been clearing out, and it hadn't been clearing out, and it hadn't been clearing out. And even this, I've been trying to look into it, I've been trying to problem solve, I've been trying to figure it out, and then like what's going to happen is that things are going to click into place, and there will finally be an emerging through, so you're not in the fog anymore. You're basically going to be exiting the fog, is what I'm seeing. So by the end of October, you're going to feel like you are out of something that could have been foggy going through. It could have felt like a test, or it could have felt like a block, or it could have felt like a challenge. It could have been something that was just really testing you and testing your patience and testing your energy and testing your wherewithal in general. I do feel like this comes from a place of there being a transit that's occurring, because I'm seeing Jupiter here, and Jupiter being the only energy that I'm seeing here, and this connecting with your mind. This feels like divine insight that you gain, that it wasn't time for it to happen before. I'm getting confirmation of this. So this isn't for lack of trying on your part. This isn't for lack of anything on your part. It just wasn't time for this to happen. But because of the entrance of Jupiter that I'm seeing over here and connecting, just stuff is going to be making sense that I think you've been wrestling with or trying to figure out, and it will feel like there's not that unsure element anymore. It will feel like you have exited the fog and that things feel clear for that reason. Some of you, this has to do with a relationship and a move that you could have felt like you couldn't do anything, you couldn't make the move, you couldn't make the move, you couldn't make the move because of still trying to resolve something or figure it out, because the fog was still there. So it would have felt like it's not time to do this yet. And what I'm seeing is that the fog clears, but it feels more so like you emerge from it. Like the fog stays over there, but you've been moving. And so you finally emerge out of it. You finally exit out of it. And when that happens, you can finally make a move, because there is that clarity that you have. And this feels like it's been a whole internal thing that's been going on. This feels too like you're gonna feel like there is a coming together with yourself. Like something merges again. I wonder too if what's been trying to be figured out is, this has to do with an already standing investment. This can be all about trying to decide, making this decision and seeking to get to that point of, do I stay within this and keep doing this, or is this finished for me? That feels like that's what it comes down to. There will be clarity about this. This will be figured out now. There won't be any more of that, I'm feeling like this today, now I'm feeling like that, and then in another moment I'm feeling like this. What this means is that there will be a clear, like, now things are moving forward. I'm not seeing the direction that I'm not seeing what the choice is. I'm sure that this will be the variable for each of you, but it feels like it all comes down to that. Do I want to stay doing this, or am I not going to be doing this anymore? And it has to do with an already standing investment. And for many of you, it can be a living situation, it can be a relationship. It doesn't only have to be one of those two things, it can be other things as well, but for most of you, that's most likely what this will be about. A connection of some sort. Stepping into a time of change, expansion, and growth. This can also mean that things are spoken about and that things are advanced upon as well. What this means too is that there can be a vulnerability. There can be like finally moves are being made on behalf of the heart space. So there can be a transparency emotionally that I'm seeing here. Stuff that's been foggy, stuff that could have been sort of all over the place, it being talked about, figured out, there being finally a moving forward that happens. This is definitely something that is going to be helpful for you. So I'm seeing a helpful energy. This also means too that if there hadn't been for some of you, the way that the energy can work is that if there had been stuff that needed to be closed out, some of that can be closed out, but I don't want to say something and then have it be misinterpreted, because this feels like one of those moments where the energy is like the genie gives you 3 wishes, and I feel like I don't want to say something and then have you misinterpret the energy. You're going to know when it happens. It will feel like you're getting on with your life if it was feeling like you weren't really going anywhere and something just emotionally needed to be figured out. Having 8 of Cups can mean that you or this person that you're connected with can be possibly deciding that they don't need to be involved in something anymore, but that doesn't have to mean your relationship. It can mean something else that they've been involved in. So then they're totally on board with something that they're investing in. One of many interpretations that can be with 8 of Cups and 7 of Pentacles. What this means too is that there can be finally where am I going to be and where am I not going to be? Where am I going to be putting my energy and investing my energy, and where am I not going to be? Where do I feel happy to be investing my energy? Versus what have I been giving my attention and my energy, and I feel like it's just depleting me actually. Like I'm seeking something and it's never really giving me anything in return. So there can be a realization that's made about that as well. And about what's really important and what is really where one wants to be putting their energy, giving their energy. Especially from a place of attentiveness and even movement emotionally, that's now going to be able to happen, where there's going to be a new volume of presence that I'm seeing here. Feels too like a move that one has been wanting to make is going to be made, or this can be something that you wanted to be on the receiving end of, that you are on the receiving end of. Can go both of those ways. It really just depends on what your place is within the reading. I do feel too like there could have been some overall feeling of anxiety that now there's going to be a moving forward from that. Like that's not really going to be present anymore. It could have been anxiety, or it could have been like a stuck feeling, or just like I don't know what to do, or the energy isn't moving, that I'm seeing there's going to be a moving forward with. Yeah, major progress that I'm seeing. Moves finally being made. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.